it's Joe with Joe's Carpet Cleaning here. We're gonna be changing the braking pads on this Chevy 2015 Expressway 1-ton. So we're gonna be changing front and rear, so all four tires, all four wheels will be changing the braking pads. So let's start it. Let's remove the first cover, this plastic cover. Then I'm using my power tool, air power tool, to remove the actual wheel nuts. So let's do this. Okay, it's almost done, so let's remove the wheel from the truck. And we have right now the open space for the work to change the braking pads easy. I'm usually turn the wheel the side, so the clipper is going out, just give you more better access. Okay, over here, the first do the braking lines and the ABS line. So this one is the just ABS line plastic hold. So I will unclick. I don't want to break the plastics. Sometimes it's happened, so it needs to be changed, of course. So I'm trying to not break anything, of course. So once I remove this one, give me the better access to there is 2 screws on the braking line. So this one and the other one, I'll just remove it. I'm put the screw back where its original position. Like you see, it's almost lost. It's like sometimes it fell somewhere, I cannot find it. That's make it more difficult. So just put it back at the same place, so I know it's there. And right now let's lose 2 screws up and down, what is holding the clipper together. So this one you need to get a good tool. Sometimes it's like hard to lose, and definitely if you want to take the clipper completely off, it's much difficult. It's more stronger. So this one can be loose. I can lose it with this small one, but I have a big one, of course, if I need it. So just with the power tools, air power tools is more faster, of course. And just to remove this 2 screws out from there, and then get the hook ready. So you got a place to put this one, and sometimes this one is stuck because there is lots of pressure always. So you can try to take it out like this, or you have to squeeze it with other things together, so that 2 parts over there, it's go a little bit in and it's much easier to take off. I have a previous video how to do it. So this one is just taking the braking pads out. Sometimes, of course, tricky, yeah, you see. And just to check, those braking pads was not too bad, but because I changed the disc brake, the rotor, so I'm gonna put the new ceramic braking pads also with these clippers, which is that help the braking pad sliding a little bit. So I like to put everything new when I change it. I didn't change it on the beginning because they sent me the wrong braking pads. This one, this the extreme ceramic braking pads, is already the right size, so we should be fine. Okay, right now using the braking pads, this is what I was talking before. Just squeeze it in. So because the new braking pads is bigger, the used one is getting smaller, so you need more space. You need to push this one in. Don't need to get too much pressure, pretty much slower is better. Just slowly push them in. You can do it with many different tools they're renting from AutoZone and car parts like this. I mean store car parts, they're renting the tools. So you can get a rent, or you can get any kind of squeezing mechanism. What is just push this one in, just make sure you're pushing straight, not sideways, so you're not got stuck or something like that. Other than that, it's pretty simple. Just pushing all the way in, because brand new pads, so you need to get as much space as possible. So pushing them all the way in. Okay. All right. So now they are in the position when they are completely in, which is I get this one ready. Of course, any dirt and any oily things on the disc brake is not good, so just keep cleaning this one, make sure it's nice and clean. I used previously disc brake cleaners, so sure you can use it too. Those should be fine now, so I'm just wiping. Oh, you see, like it's losing a little bit, so I'm using those two nuts, put it on, so just my disc brake is hold in the correct position when I put everything together. So this one is just, those two is just help me to keep the disc brake on the right position. So it's not really do anything, it's just make it straight, like how it's gonna be when the tire is on and all nuts is on and holding everything. Okay, so just to clean everything, make sure it's good. Okay, look good to me, and start install the brand new pads. Each pad's a little bit different. They have the bottom top kind of, but it's sometimes hard to say. So those what I receive, there is the on the end little piece, and one of the braking pads have both side, one of them just the down, or one side, which is I'm calling down because I'm usually putting down, but you know, it's like so many videos, recommendations, and they saying many different things. So just make sure it's fit good and sit good in. So if you receive new pads and it's a little bit different, it's usually okay, but just make sure it's sitting good and working properly, you know, that's the most important part. So one side bigger, one side smaller, so make sure you put in right. Well, other way will not fit, of course. So just to get this sliding clippers on, which is that will be the braking pads sliding on back and forth. It's very small slide, but it's still sliding. That's how it's brake, of course. So those must be pretty good, and of course, in just 1 second, let me see. I will grease that little part where is the connection between the braking pads and these little clippers, so it's sliding pretty good. and you know, oh yeah, this is the new braking pads. As you see, this, the one of them, it's like have the bolt side, the old one is a little bit different, so size must be same of course, because other way will not fit, so make sure you have a correct one, but design is a little bit different, so it looks different and it's a little bit time, it's like a puzzle, so you can just try the fitting and turning them and try to fit in the correct position, so that way you got the most best position as possible. So I always check and see where all this end and things look like, and if there is anything I need to be careful about, because you don't want to put anything on the wrong side or wrong position, which is can happen, you know, but you know, you have to test it. So once you put the braking pads on, you have to test it, make sure it's everything working properly and good, because it's brake, so you don't want to get a trouble, of course. Okay. As you see, it takes time to figure out how it's sitting good. Sometimes it's hard to slide in, especially when you put the new clippers. They got a little tension, so it's almost like a millimeters how you can slide in. So it looks like it's not even fit, but actually it's fit perfectly. It's only you need to make sure everything is pressed and sit correctly. So those always trouble, because it's like must be tight on the bolt side, upper and down, so that way is like difficult sometimes to put it on, but we need to make sure it's tight. So just checking, you know, if it's exactly the same, if it's like no different thing, because you never know what you get from the any store. I order this one online, 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐬.com. This is only what I'm using most time. If I have a time, if I need something fast, I go just to local car part store, of course. Like you see right now, it's taking time and checking everything. Make sure it's like best fit as possible, of course. And usually the first wheel take a lot longer, because you checking everything, and the second wheel, which is I just skip right now, and on the second wheel it's much faster, so I don't want to keep boring you with how I try to figure out how it's fit and everything. Of course finally I did, but it's take time. I'm not hurry. Prefer, you know, make sure it's good than quick. So on this one, which is the passenger side, that first one was the driver side, so I will show you how this one is fit nicely over here, because this one it's already, this one is already much quicker, of course, because I know how to fit it much faster. This braking pads is a both side exactly the same, so you already know which one go where, and that way is much faster. Okay, So over here pretty much everything will be the same. So got everything ready. Remove this 2 screw from braking line. Same as on other side. Put it back so it's not loose. It's easier. Make sure both braking line and ABS line is free. Okay, loose 2 screw. Okay, those was easy. This one like a little bit harder, but I got loose. Switch the air tool, of course, because it's much faster to remove the screw. This one is like a 2 long pin screw, kind of what is like hold together the clipper, but also allowing the clipper moving. So it's this one. So I didn't show you on the first wheel. On this one I will show you. Before I put them back, I'm grease them, of course. So yeah, and just stand them on the ground. Make sure they stand up. There is no dirt, no little debris or smaller rocks, because that will be not good. Okay, so removing this clipper over here. This one, it's hard to remove sometimes, but sometimes just pop out. So like I try press over here right now, and it's pop out. So just be careful with that, because if it's like pop out and fell all the way down, the braking line can broke easily. So be careful with this one. Make sure you're holding good, or you got some kind of tools. Okay, right now got the 1 braking pads, putting over there, and of course I need to make ready this one. So I will press this one, these braking clippers. I got 2 of them, sometimes it's just 1, and I have to press them like something like on other wheel all the way back, because brand new pads, it's bigger, of course. So make sure it's pressed nice and all the way. It was easy. And now I'm just check everything, make sure everything looks good. So I'm just put the back old pad, not remove anything yet. So just want to check everything. Put this clipper back and see how much space I have and how's that fit. Okay, so if everything good, I like what I see, then slowly remove nicely, hold it in the hand. There is more space now, so that's easier. Got something what you can rest this clipper on. It's pretty heavy, so it must be something what is strong. I'm using this hooks, of course, which is easy. Alright, so remove the old pads. Okay, so this one hold pretty good, but you know, I can still see the movement. So again, 2 nuts, put it on, so that way your braking disc is in the hop. It's in the center, so that will help you when you installing and everything. The disc is not moving like different positions and stuff like that. So this one will be helpful. Okay, make sure it's clean. Those is brand new, so I clean them with the braking cleaner. I mean this cleaner. So now just make sure it is good. So when I have a chance, I'm clean them again just with microfiber towel. So get this one ready. Removing the old clippers. Okay, so just clean a little bit the area where is the clipper will go, make sure there is no debris, anything like that. So those must be pretty good, because if you clip it on and it's not fit, then you may not get the braking pads even on the position. So just make sure there is nothing to hold the clippers on the wrong position. So one side bigger, one side smaller, figure out which one. Should be easy, other way will not fit. So before you clip, just check everything, make sure it's correct, because you can open this clipper a little bit on the wrong position, which is not good. So just make sure it's on the right position, and then you clip it all the way. Make sure it's hold good, which is sometimes, you can see, not easy. So it's clipping good. And when you put the braking pads on, this one have a little tension, these clippers. So when you put the braking pads on, you can squeeze them a little bit too, that will give you the space to put the braking pads on. And once the braking pads on, then it's already on the correct position, and it will start working properly, and will press these clippers all the way in, which is when you're taking the old braking pads off, sometimes this clippers is sitting so good, it's like hard to remove, because there is lots of pressure over there from the braking pads. Okay, so and of course I don't want to get any grease on the disc brake or the braking pads, no grease, of course, because that will not be good for braking. Okay, so let's put the new braking pads on. Okay, so this is what I was talking about before. I should move the camera a little bit. I have just the stand, so I didn't see where the camera get the focus, so I'm a little bit covered with my body, but just try this fit one, and pretty much I have to make sure the bolt hook upper and down it's go on the clipper nice. So over here is the similar situation, both side is the same, it's just right and left, of course. So you see, like, it's nice and straight to fit in, so it must fit in and must be easy to move, so not stuck or something like cricket sideways or anything like that. You should be able, like, when you turn the disc brake and then you squeeze with the hand, you should see like it's stopping the disc brake easy, so it should move back and forth without any problem, that's essential to braking. So as right now we'll put everything back. I'm gonna squeeze these ones all the way in. This procedure is always the same. When you put the braking pads brand new, you need to make sure it's squeezed completely in. So just make sure it's tight and good, and then squeeze them all in, so you have as much space as possible. This is just to verify, it's all the way in and it's squeezed on the the start position when they are all the way in, which is that give you the much space between these two things, and you can slide it on the braking pads much easily, of course, because more space, more easily you can slide in. So those is important. Alright, so let's put the clipper on, and we'll repeat same as on the other side. So just make sure you put nice and it's fit good. And there is two rubbers things which is always squeeze bad, so you just need to make sure these two rubber things, the openings where is the two long screw pin screw go, it's nice and not cricket or anything like that, so you can squeeze the pin in easy. Alright, so I just put the one so it's everything hold into place, and then I'm gonna grease this one, check everything and make sure it's the rubbers are everything good. So I'll put this one in and make sure it's sitting good, and then I'll take the top one and do the same thing, which is this already. The bottom one or top one will hold it in the place, which is that's good. It can move a little bit, but usually it's fine, so it should be good. Okay, so got the bolt ends, and now make sure they are all in so they can catch the thread and start tightening them. Always make sure when you tighten them they are tight good. This one doesn't need to be like crazy strong tight. The one is the big one holding the things is like, that's the more problem to tight and untight. This on the clippers is just hold together clipper and let the clipper moving back and forth. So but it needs to be tight, of course, you know, you don't want to lose any part of the clipper, of course, that makes sense. So always check, because the power tools, air tools doing good, but always check, make sure it's tight. Alright, so we have this one done. Just check everything, make sure it holds good. It should be nice and free to move. And let's start to put everything together. I will just change the nuts. I have a new one because in the shop they taking down and put it on the tire a lot, so that's doing too. Over here, of course, don't forget, because I almost forgot, the power lines and the power lines, braking lines and the ABS line. So you need to put everything together before you put tires. So this can happen. So just make sure, check everything. I'm always check like twice, because you know you can just forget easily. It's like always happening. So just remember step by step, and if it's not, then check back, make sure you did, because if you forgot something, is not good, of course. So I have to just fix this one, put everything back, and then it will be ready to put the tire back, and that will be complete done. So in just a little bit will be all finished. So just tied good. I don't want to over tie this one. This power tools on the small screw have a lot of power. Sometimes you can mess with the thread, so just tied by my hands to feel it's tied good, but not over tight, you know, like not broke. It's happened before to me, and it's like you have to do a lot of work to fix that. So just make sure it's not happening again. Yeah, just click the plastic back. Okay, everything look good. everything secure. Now is ready to put the tire back. So get the tire. On these vans, those tires pretty big and heavy, so it's like not that easy to put it on. You have to have a power. Sometimes it's, when you're holding on this screw, it's like hard to fit, so it's not that easy too. So maybe you can get the help or something. Just make sure it's slide in. Once you slide in, you find, yeah, like this, just a slide in a little bit and you find. I'm usually start with the bottom one. I'm gonna hold the wheel and tight first the bottom one and then top one and then just to finish all of them. This one usually give me a lot of power, the tight, so I don't need to do anything else later. So hold the tire and screw in, and then do the opposite side. Make sure it's tight good, make sure there is no gap or anything like between. Make sure it's sitting good. Okay, and once it's sitting good, you can do the rest of them. And that will do. So we'll put the rest of them. And once it's all of them in or on, then I will just do the plastic cap. Not using the air tool is pretty fast, and that will definitely broke it. So this one I can put just easy, like the number 7. So it's not too strong because this is only plastic nut, and that will definitely break if it's too much power. So just put it on, make sure all of them is tight and nice, and that's pretty much it. Thank you very much. Okay, see you.